Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome back to the channel. My last video with a diorama, I did a Civil War diorama. But today I decided to jump back into my bits box. Here. And I was scrabbling through all my 3D miniature printed stuff. And I was able to find some 3D printed Deathcore Krieg, inspired by Warhammer. These are 3D printed. From a friend that gave it to me. He was trying to get, he had all these misprint ones and some printed ones, and it was nice enough to lend me some. And they've been sitting in my bits box for like 2 years, so I decided to go into it, and I'm gonna make a diorama out of it. So for this diorama, I'm gonna be making a campfire, battlefield campfire with a 3D printed Tiger tank from World War II, the German side. And I make a downtime battlefield campfire. So let's go. Alright, first to start off, I wanted to start off with the base layout. I wanted the campfire to be the emotional center, but not exactly in the center, so I was going to put it in the side. I was going to be surrounded by the Krieg soldiers in natural relaxed poses, with one playing guitar, one eating a piece of bread, and the other one drinking beer, and the other one just sitting there watching the guitar guy play the guitar. I'm also going to have the tank nearby, parked from the battle, worn and weathered, like the soldiers themselves. To start off with the base, I used the clay I've been using for the last 2 dioramas I've been making. It's easier to make the terrain and the landscape than using plaster that I've been using before, because it's less messy and it dries faster. Once I put the clay in and set, while it was still wet and not dry, I started placing where I'm going to decide where I put the placements, where the wall, the tank, and I was making the track marks from the tank to make like you just moved in and parked. Each figure was going to be hand painted by me with a mute, greedy palette to capture the harsh, unforgiving world they're living in. I added some texture to the base using some sand rocks and paste and some battlefield debris to give it a lived and authentic feel. But as you can see with the soldiers, I'm going with a basic leather color, hardened leather for the boots, the elbow pads, and the belt. And then for the trench coat, I was going to use a Beowulf blue from Warhammer paints, and then also dark wood for the weapons and the rifles, and dark black or gray black, gray black, and some metallic for the helmets. I'm just going to show that the first 2 figures that I painted, the one with standing tall with the rifle with his hand placement, and this one here sitting on an ammo box drinking either a Coke or a nice cold one. And after I'm done with the soldiers, I placed them right here for you to see. With the campfire. Here's each soldier showed up, one by one, in detail. There you go. For this shot here, I cut up some extra pieces that I got from a Acadian shock troops packet. This is all bits in this. I used some weapons just to show that they're relaxing. First I used a hardened leather, but I switched over to dark wood color. For this one in here, I'm adding a machine gun that I got from a heavy weapons squad from a Acadian Warhammer pack. I'm going to put that, attach it to the tank, so that way it has a machine gun to defend itself. Here's barricades that I got from Amazon. These are 3D printed. I think they're from Ender's Toys. Yeah, they're 28mm. It's good for the Warhammer thing. So I'm just going to use that to look like an abandoned building. And the shot here is me just doing the other one. It's actually these 2 pieces were separate, but they actually combined and connected, and it worked out for the best. As for the Tiger tank, I got a 3D printed for a World War II diorama I had in mind, but I have an extra one, so I'm using this for this diorama. For the color, I mixed in with some gray and black colors from Warhammer, and that's it. Now, I didn't want to go just Tiger tank by itself. I remember watching the movie Fury, Brad Pitt, and the Tiger tank or the Panzer tank in it did had some like characteristics like leaves, branches, and wood armor on it. So I'm taking these wooden sticks and then placing it on the tank to give it like some of that armor look, just to give it like the tank more character. I was using and here as you can see I'm adding the machine gun turret I got from the heavy weapons squad. And here I'm adding more wood armor to the front. And apparently, in real life, the tank crew did add the armor for more layer protection for the tanks, but from what I'm hearing from the history books and the YouTube videos, they really didn't work. For here, I'm using a dark wood color for the wood. Right here, I'm adding a flesh wash to get more dirty up and more of that grungy look. So unfortunately, as I was taking one of the figures out of its base from painting, its foot broke off. And I lost a foot somewhere in my room. So I had to pivot. As you can see here, he has his foot here, but the other foot is gone. Over here, I took a sniper scope from one of the Camden bits, and I used that as a peg leg, because he lost his leg during the battle. And there you have it. I decided to add some sandbags into the tank from the back to add more character. I got this gooey, toughy, sticky stuff from Pop Shelf. They were left up by my toolbox from my last diorama I made a couple years ago, and I thought it would be a great example because they look pretty cool, and then with some paint. Sandbags. As you can see here, I have this soldier here in the sitting position. I was going to add him right there also into the tank. I'm using Age Hide from Warhammer paints to dirty up and wash up the sandbags. After adding the last of sandbags and giving them a nice paint wash with Age Hide and a wash, I added some camouflage leaves with moss to give it more of a camouflage that you hope to use inside hunting in the warfare out in the fields. Inspired by the idea that I saw from the movie Fury, like I mentioned before. After that was done, I added the soldier sitting on a double sandbag. After the tank and figures were done, I decided to start on the base with some paste with AK terrain diorama with dark earth. I'm using a brush to spread out the dark earth paste onto the base. Try to get at every edge and crevice right there. After that was done, I'm adding along the wall and the tank. Putting some mud and dirt on the wheels and track. I will later on put more glue and super glue to make it stick more. Here I am adding battlefield dirt and grass from Army Painter. I just realized I've been saying more Army Paint, but it's Army Painter that I've got all the paints and grass and rocks from. Here I'm placing every soldier in the position. Campfire, guitar player, soldier listening, soldier also listening while eating bread, and a soldier relaxing drinking a Coke or beer. After all that was done, I spread the rest of the rocks and debris and the rest of the soldiers in, painted the sides black, and there you have it. And there you have it. These are the moments we often forget in wartime stories. the downtime, the humanity, and the soldiers simply being human. I love creating scenes that tell a story beyond the battlefield. This diorama isn't just about the tanks and the soldiers, it's about the brief, quiet moments that connect them. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this build, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to catch my next diorama project, cosplay photo shoot, or video essay. I'll love to hear what stories you think I should bring to life next. Drop your ideas in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok for behind the scenes content, and as always, keep building, keep creating, and I'll see you in the next one.